recently discovered an international criminal organization with an atom bomb.
We have no choice but to work together on this.
All right, The Man From U.N.C.L.E. is a spy thriller based on the TV series. Set during the Cold War, it tells the story of a CIA agent who has to team up with a Russian KGB agent to stop an evil organization with nefarious plans. All right, your movie friend Aaron Dicer is here to give us the down low on this one.
It's kind of the year of the spy at cinema this year, it seems like. Mission Impossible just came out. Yeah, and you know, you got Melissa McCarthy doing the movie Spy, and there's all these spy movies. The thing that sets this one apart is it feels like it was actually made in the 60s. Like they went to great care for this to feel like a real film from that era.
Right.
And that goes for the clothing, the sets, the way the movie is framed, the way they use the film in this feels like a movie that was made in that era. And it really, really works. If nothing else, you come away from this movie going, man, that was gorgeous. It was beautiful. I'm not used to seeing a movie like that. And a lot of that stuff really, really works. It captures that era, you know, kind of that 60s era in that way.
So did they shoot it on something different, do you know?
I don't know. I don't think so. With digital photography, you can post-process. Well, you can post-process most of that stuff and make it look like it was shot on 70mm or something like that. But I don't believe they actually shot it that way. But you look at even the way the dialogue works in this. It's very witty and clever. There's a dry wit to it, right? We're used to a really, I guess you would say, wet wit, where there's sarcasm and grins and that kind of stuff. This is very laid back and stoic, and craziness is going around, but the hero is, you know, very Sean Connery, Cary Grant-like, and that's Henry Cavill, by the way, who also plays Superman, and he is really, really good in this. I think the best thing for me is that it really felt like an old school Bond movie. You know, it just felt like you're going back in time and you're
Bond appeal, as it were.
So I really enjoyed that about this movie. The thing I didn't like about this movie is that in between all the brilliance and the visual style, you kind of get a little bored because the story really isn't all that. There's not a lot underneath it that isn't cliche or that you've heard before. But when that stuff is happening, it's really, really, really fun. Overall, I said this was a B.
A B. And that girl is super thin, because TV really does add weight, and she looks tiny in that.
That's another thing to mention. The female leads in this are phenomenal, and it's nice to see, you know, the women getting some real, you know, powerful screen time, including as a villain in this one.
Okay. Well, that one's a B. Movie number 2 is Straight Outta Compton, telling the story of the rap group NWA. The movie follows the rappers from the poor streets of Compton, California, to the top of the music charts. Tell us a little bit about this one. That I've seen a lot about it in the media already, but
well, it tells the true story of this rap group and this group of friends who, you know, ended up coming up through the rap group and becoming worldwide famous musicians, and really in a lot of ways changing the texture of popular music and bringing kind of that, you know, more aggressive hardcore style of rap to the forefront. It's a really interesting story, and you may know bits and pieces of these artists like Dr. Dre and Ice Cube and Eazy-E, but to see kind of how their relationships formed and developed and then split and all that kind of stuff played out is really interesting. And I think the story, and I'll say this is the best thing, it's told with a lot of respect for these guys. You really get the sense that they are human beings, their flaws, the good things about them. It doesn't candy coat the consequences of their lifestyle, which I really appreciated. You know, the things they chose to do had consequences. And at the same time, it gives them a voice to say, we weren't, you know, trying to cause problems. We were trying to say where we came from and, you know, what our lives were like. And it really is kind of an interesting movie about free speech. And there's a lot of the LA riots stuff in there and some different things, and they do a good job with that.
You had me at true story.
I know. And I think they
I mean, seriously, regardless of the topic, if it's a true story, I'm like, tell me more. So I want to see it for that reason.
And the thing about this is, and we'll call this the worst thing, there's too much here. You know, there's so much even beyond what they talk about in this movie that I wanted to see. I almost would have rather have seen this as like a TV miniseries, where you could spend some time each episode going through these sections of their lives, because I really feel like even in the time frame of the story they told, they had to leave a bunch of stuff out, and there's more to come. You know, Dr. Dre ends up being, you know, key in the signing of Eminem and Jay-Z and all these other popular figures, and to see that would have been interesting too, but we just didn't have the time. So
final grade on that
overall, I gave it a B+. And I have to say, the impact of these guys is seen, if in nothing else, the fact that I had a rap group in high school at Lenawee Christian High School. And yeah, I think I actually have a picture there of us. That's me in the middle. So straight out of Lenawee. So,
that's funny.
Yeah. But honestly, seriously, to take music like that and have it become so mainstream that, a lily white kid like me in Michigan would enjoy the art style that much, kind of the artistry of that is saying something.
This guy. All right. Lots of tricks up his sleeve. Okay, when we come back, we are with Jeremy Ray fixing up those old lawn chairs. Stay with us.